I'm just Gail from Manassas. All of that just is like, please, please, please make it go away. Can I just celebrate the fact that I'm just Gail from Manassas? This is such an incredible opportunity, and I want to thank the Prince William County Chamber for giving it to me. What an opportunity to come home, and to come home to the place where you learned it all, where your foundations were laid, where your values were set, where the get up and go was planted, because I left home. And I left home to seek my fortune. Life has been full of twists and turns. We'll talk about those in a minute. But it's neat to come home and talk about them. Thank you. I'm so humbled that you're here to listen, because I'm just going to take you down the journey of my story. It's been eager to be here this morning and to go to some of the classes and know that the focus of today's leadership event is really talking about my life. It's talking about resilience, it's talking about networking, it's talking about anything you can do to get your name out there. It's so important, and I salute the Chamber for this day, because it really is the spark that can ignite all sorts of wonderful things, because women really know what's going on, and women can really change the earth. Let's give all of ourselves a great hand. All right, I said I'm here to tell my story. I think of all the things that we've talked about this morning, I become the case study. And I want you to know that I'm not here to say you need to do it my way. I'm just telling you this is what happened to me. And these are my experiences. And hopefully, through my experiences, you can glean a little bit of truth that may help you in your own life journey. We adult humans, we don't like to be told what to do at all. But sometimes when we listen to something someone else happened to do and an experience in somebody else's life, you can say, oh, that's interesting, and file it away, because there may be a day that you need to drag that truth out and make it a part of your own journey. So, after graduating from Osborne High School, I left Manassas to seek my fortune. As I mentioned, life was full of twists and turns, but at the end of the day, it is the entrepreneurial spirit of this man down here. That's my dad. And my dad is the one, the energy behind E.E. Wine Energy Company. You may be familiar with that. My brother added Why Not Stops to that. It is his entrepreneurial spirit and my parents' notion that I could do anything, that I want to dedicate this presentation to him. He left us about 3 years ago, but it's his spirit that is the drive that has put everything in me, and his work ethic is what helps me keep going from day to day. It is my, yes, let's give him. If anybody knew my dad, you knew he could work stronger and harder than anybody else in this entire world. And if he were going to do anything, it was going to be bigger and more than anybody else in the whole wide world. And the way he looks in that picture is kind of like he preferred to look, because he loved to show up in people's houses to fix their furnace and have them talk about the CEO of the company and know he was that CEO. He's a cool guy. My story is not like any of you, unlike any of you in the room today. So I want to let you know that after leaving Manassas, I graduated from the Medical College of Virginia School of Nursing. Yes, I'm a nurse. And I became a maternal child nurse and spent nearly 25 years doing any and all things a maternal child nurse would do. In fact, you could probably ask anything, and I've probably done it. My last reinvention of myself was serving on faculty of my alma mater, teaching, what else? Maternal child nursing. And it was while serving on the faculty of the MCV School of Nursing that the idea for Rainbow Station was born. It was while I was taking students from one clinical rotation to another, I noticed that the world was changing. And so I had this idea that all children, regardless of ability or medical challenge, really needed to have access to early education services, and nursing could make that happen by partnering with early education. raised by entrepreneurs, and married to one as well who is here today, the concept of resigning from a paycheck was not a foreign one. So in March of 1987, I did just that. I quit my job. However, like many entrepreneurs, my idea needed a jump start to become a reality. I will be forever grateful to my son Kevin, who challenged me with those fateful words, "Oh, Mom, you'll never do your idea." Are there any entrepreneurs in the room that has needed a jump start? Be honest, really? How many are you still thinking about doing a business and you haven't done it yet? Well, can I just say my son Kevin is here today. Kevin, raise your hand. And I want to say that statement, getting me off the dead center, is exactly what I needed. I was never going to have a child of mine thinking that you could have a dream and not realize it. So, let me introduce Kevin and Ashley. Oh, that's too dark. This is Kevin in one of his proudest moments. I wanted to say he did something great for me, but I want to celebrate one of his proudest moments. An avid hunter, this is his very first deer. So he was so proud. But I want to say, in return, thank you, Kevin, for the kickstart, and thank you, and Ashley, for being the awesome, now franchisees of a Rainbow Station in Haymarket. So, thank you, Kevin. And thank you for representing my hometown and my business so well. But in short, let's talk a bit about what Rainbow Station is. It's a nationally accredited private preschool franchise with school-age recreation on site and a mildly ill backup care provided in our Get Well place that's staffed by a pediatric nurse. Founded December 18th, 1989, we'll be 23 years old next month. I cannot believe it. We grew into 3 corporately owned schools that had 6 programs collectively in less than 5 years. And then we decided to grow by franchising and opened our first franchise in San Antonio, Texas in 2003. You say, San Antonio, Texas? Why there? And I'm going to simply say because we could, and the internet is a wonderful thing. Growing a business, as I'm sure everyone in here, and I've seen the hands today, there are many, many business owners in the room, each phase of business growth is much like in perfect alignment with pregnancy, delivery, and childbearing, right? You know, when you first get an idea, it's like the joy of being pregnant, and then you have to face the opening that business in the first few years, the delivery part, pain, and child rearing. As you think about how old your business is it acting like that age child? I would suspect yes. We are a young adult, and I got a young adult on my hands. Being in the business of supporting families, this analogy has served me well, giving me a touch point of understanding that has mitigated many, many stressful situations. From its inception, Rainbow Station has enjoyed many challenges and opportunities. Finding successful outcomes has been contingent on 3 basic principles. First, excellence breeds excellence. Second, perseverance and persistence. Never, 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 never give up. And the last one that I've learned really well recently is avoid good at all costs, because it truly is the enemy of great. From the beginning, our company had an insatiable quest for excellence. As my dream for Rainbow Station grew into reality, one of my early mentors said, Gail, set your bar high. Strive for excellence always, and excellence will come to you. Then one of my vendors said, Gail, if you focus on excellence, you'll have plenty of business. If you cut corners, you'll be looking for business. Right? We heeded this advice, and the results have been exactly as predicted. In fact, by focusing on excellence and developmentally appropriate practice and lesson planning when everyone else was focusing on babysitting in my space, We were positioned as a leader at the exact time when the region's business in Richmond, the region's businesses, began to realize that workforce development doesn't occur after graduation from high school. It doesn't even occur in high school. Workforce development actually occurs in the preschool years. By the time a child is 4 years of age, his brain synapses are essentially complete. Getting a child to school ready to learn is absolutely paramount. If not prepared, a child may never catch up. If not prepared, a child indeed, instead of becoming a productive member of our society, may become a school dropout, a teenage mom, or engage in some other non-productive behavior. Our mission is to promote the success of each child in our schools by getting them to school ready to learn and to support their academic progress in our recreation program. 23 years later, I realize that this quest for excellence has been at the absolute core of our success. But that's not the whole story. We really must deal with phase 2. These are words that I can still hear my father say to me. He used a little bit different language. It went like this: quitters never win and winners never quit. Now, if you knew my father, you could hear him say that. However, this message is the same, and the words have served me well. In the 80s, when women began to really exercise their right to be, life was fine as long as life was just fine. There are some of you in the room that can remember that. However, if you had a child that was ill for a day or a lifetime with a chronic medical illness, life and a career and trying to manage your children became almost impossible. Born out of a desire to provide services for this unmet need, I set out to create a place where all children could come, including children with special needs as well as children with mild illnesses. This could be made possible by having a nurse on the team. This idea, called Rainbow Station, with a get-well place, has been forcing a round peg into a square hole since its inception. The initial licensing request was denied quite matter-of-factly. Nice idea, Mrs. Johnson, but you'll never do it in Virginia. What? What? Remember, I quit my job for this. It's against regulations. Oh, that sounds pretty terminal. Using my newly formed network, we had a class on networking this morning that included a nursing colleague who was working in the Secretary of Health and Human Resources office. I was able to speak directly with the Director of Licensing for the state of Virginia. After hearing my story and a long, pregnant pause, she stated, "You know, I've heard about these programs in other parts of the country, and we have been waiting for the exact right person to do it in Virginia." I said, "You got her! She's right here. I stand ready to serve. I'm a nurse. I understand how to dot I's, cross T's. I understand how to do things according to policy. I can do it like you want it done." She said, "Okay." Willing to give me a chance, she called back to the place that had summarily dismissed me, asked for a special licensing agent, and together we figured out how to make it work. Translated, I wrote 26 regulatory variances to overcome the regulatory obstacle. Today, even today, we remain licensed by variance. This is only one of the many obstacles we've overcome. You say, okay, you got a license, great. No. 3 weeks before we opened, the Department of Licensing decided that maybe they'd changed their mind. Maybe they weren't going to license us after all. What? We have a building already built. Are you crazy? Needless to say, we got a license. The first year we were grossly undercapitalized. I would never recommend this to anyone, but I suspect there may be one or two of you in the room that could stand beside me and say, I did it too. I'm happy to say that we made it, obviously, but not without a lot of pain. In February, remember we opened in December, in February, I cashed in my daughter's wedding fund, feeling like an absolute loser of a mother. In June, I informed my landlord that I was not going to pay rent. If I paid rent, I would go out of business. And he said, "Gail, has anybody ever told you that the only thing you have to pay in life is rent and taxes?" I said, "That may be so, sir, but if I pay you rent, I won't be able to operate anymore. I can't pay you rent." He says, "Well, then I'll evict you." Facing eviction threats, I did not pay rent. I promised I would, and I did, many years later, with lots and lots of interest. But I used that cash from June, to make it a few more months. We made it that horrible first year because of principle number 1, excellence breeds excellence, and because of principle number 2, never, 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 never give up. Because of our principles and our growing reputation, excellence, we were able to sell ourselves out of our cash flow problem. We were fortunate because once a child enrolls in our schools, they stay. All we have to do is keep our families happy. Since the beginning, our enrollment turnover has been less than 10% annually. And by the way, if you haven't figured it out in your own business, figure it out. Recurring revenue is the absolute best. I could continue, but I think you get the picture. There is no obstacle that you can't overcome. We just need to focus on the potential alternatives and keep looking for the workaround. It's always there. You just need to find it. Even though the solution may always not be on my timeline, it's always there. There's always a solution. Okay, number 3. Avoid good at all cost. It's the enemy of great. Life since 2008 has created an incredible opportunity to practice this never, never give up thing. But there's been a huge complicating factor. We have learned the hard way that good is indeed the enemy of great. By the time we reached 2008, our franchise flywheel had established some pretty good momentum. How many of you have read Jim Collins' book, Good to Great? You know the flywheel concept? You know, you push the flywheel over the first time and it takes all the energy you can to pull it over, and then wham, it turns once. And then the second time it goes a little more. Well, we had just kind of gotten it going pretty good. And then the economy tanked. In 2008, we had 9 schools in operation, 2 schools slated to open in 2009, and 8 more schools in the queue. We were really rolling. When the economy tanked, we lost the commitment letters for the 2 schools that were supposed to open in 2009. One of those is still lost. One of those we did not get back until 2011. It was really a long time. Unemployment reached an all-time high in the greater Richmond region. 3 major businesses in Richmond went out almost at the same time. A big one you may know, Circuit City. Each week, more and more of our parents lost their jobs, but that wasn't all. I was learning the hard way how to challenge baby schools, the schools that opened in 2007 and 2008, how to overcome hard times. And at the same time, learning how to challenge mature schools that had been around since 1989, 90, whatever, how to remember to overcome hard times. Challenging our baby schools was the easy part. The energy and excitement of creating something new gave our baby schools the energy to overcome the hard times. In fact, year over year, their enrollment steadily inclined. Our franchise schools became the success story. However, challenging our mature schools was an entirely different matter. We had enjoyed long waiting lists for many years. Suddenly, we had openings. The marketplace that did not realize that that was the case. We were a strong word-of-mouth referral organization, We somehow had to get the word out that we had openings, and at the same time not send a message, oh, have you heard about Rainbow Station? Something's really wrong over there. In the meantime, our management had evolved into a practice of hitting the easy button. Translated, we were not only dealing with multiple economic-driven withdrawals, we were dealing with management hitting the easy button and complacently addressing the fact that the parents were all, their enrollment was dropping. There's not much we can do. Our parents are just losing their jobs. And I thought, we're going to lose our shirt. What a challenge. We rallied the troops. We described excellence once again. We set performance goals, and we set out to find a better cash position. For a while, we were only keeping the lights on. You know what that means? The electric bill, the rent, all of that. But I'm thrilled to say that the troops did rally. We found our way back to excellence, and we are now working to destroy every single easy button that I can find. It's truly a hard habit to break. In the midst of these challenges, we qualified for the Inc. 5000 for the second time. Being recognized in that way only reinforced that sticking to our principles, excellence breeds excellence, persistence, never, never, never give up, and avoiding good at all costs really does matter. We have learned much over the last 23 years, and we plan to continue to challenge ourselves to stay true to these principles. But did I mention that stamping out easy buttons is hard? So how, as a leader, can you, and some of you may share this same angst with me, how can you keep the fires and passion kindled in your company to keep the energy going so that the easy buttons will all go away? Well, I would like to suggest that you become bold leaders. And a bold leader cultivates love. And you say, love? What are you talking about? Remember when you started your business? Or remember when you very first got your job? Do you remember how passionate you were because you really love what you're doing? And you were so excited about the mission of the business that you had just gotten involved in? And it's just, I just love it. And for those of us that are able to get in a situation where we love what we do, time just passes. And you find yourself, oh my gosh, it's 5 o'clock, how did it get here already? As opposed to doing one of those jobs you hate. So as a leader, we need to find people that love what we do, and then we need to continually kindle that fire and remind them, why are you here? Remember, we are here to change the lives of children and families forever. Remember? And with that, because you have cultivated love, you can generate energy and passion that will drive you farther than with more energy you can get things accomplished that you never even dreamed of. Have you ever heard of the flow zone? Anybody heard of that? It's where you absolutely are so taken with the mission of your work, and you have so much energy and passion about the mission of your work that you get so involved that you don't even realize you're working anymore. Have that ever happened to you? It's called the flow zone. And you look up and you say, oh my gosh, it's dark. How did it get to be dark? Or oh my gosh, it's midnight, I need to go to bed. That's what happens when you've cultivated love and you have generated the energy. And with that comes the ability to create audacious, hairy goals. You are able to think way outside the box. You are able to create things that you never even dreamed you could, because everything, the stars are aligning for you. But there's one more piece that is the total cycle here, that you can love what you do. You can have extreme energy and passion. You can create the most audacious goals alive. But it's only when you get to proof that your cycle of leadership is complete. That's when the results show on your bottom line, and that's when the circle of accountability is alive and well. Everybody needs an accountability partner. Everybody needs to be reminded, did you do it? We are involved in a project right now with a project manager that every Monday morning I get to find out whether I'm red, yellow, or green. And he is relentless. But that's what you need if you want to accomplish something. And if you're going to be a bold leader, you are the ones that are going to be committed to really helping yourself and others love what you do and generate the energy and passion that will inspire the audacity to innovate. And then you will naturally be able to complete the accountability cycle and create change in your organization, change that will keep you fresh and innovative and ready to make the world a better place. Differentiating ourselves in a fragmented marketplace has given us a marketing edge since the beginning. First, there was a Get Well place. We talked about that. Later, we developed the Village, a state-of-the-art school-age recreation program that we put on our campus. So then we became not just a preschool building with a room for school-age children, but we have a campus with a legitimate preschool and a school-age rec program. Then came our private kindergarten accreditation, but not 1, but 2 and 3, including SACS, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. And then our latest innovation, which I'm so excited about, is our Leader in Me initiative. We have infused our schools with the 7 habits of highly effective kids, with the goal of not only getting our children to school ready to learn, but to prepare them for the 21st century. I am so proud to announce that we are the first and only preschool system in the world with this vision today. We only hope that others will follow suit. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everyone entered the workforce, and those of you that employ people can really get this, that knew how to begin with the end in mind and set priorities by putting first things first? Years ago, we promised to learn early, live well, lead. Now we are really delivering on that promise in a new way. Walt Disney once said, if you dream it, you can do it. And we are really doing it. In fact, we are doing it in a major way. Recently inspired by Quincy Jones, who said, never be unprepared for an opportunity, we are embarking on another phase of our journey. In the spirit of keeping the fire burning brightly and accepting the opportunity that has been given to us, we are proud to announce today that we will be opening our very first school in Shenzhen, China in January of 2013. The excitement of a new entrepreneurial expansion has rekindled the love for what we do. It has ignited the fires of passion generating the energy to inspire and the audacity to make this bold move. And it's helped us to refocus our vision of excellence. Bottom line, at the end of the day, we want to ensure that we are making a difference in the lives of children and families. Bottom line, at the end of the day, we want to be sure that because Rainbow Station existed, the world is just a bit better place. Thank you.